Hello everyone, I am Tanushri
And I'm Monika.
Today we will be presenting the processor features of the AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro 9995WX. By processor features, we mean the specific technologies built into the CPU. These are the features that define what this processor can actually do. So let's start.
The first major processor feature is simultaneous multithreading. Normally, one CPU core processes one task at a time. SMT allows each core to handle two threads simultaneously by sharing the core's execution resources between two tasks. The 9995WX has 96 physical cores with SMT enabled. It exposes 192 threads to the operating system. The OS treats each thread as a separate logical processor. This means the CPU can work on 192 tasks at the same time. This is especially useful in rendering software, video encoding, and the server workloads, where hundreds of smaller tasks needs to run in parallel. SMT improves CPU utilization because one thread is waiting, for example, data from memory. The other thread can use the core's resources instead of leaving them idle.
Second feature is Precision Boost 2. This is AMD's intelligent frequency management system. Rather than running all 96 cores at one fixed speed, Precision Boost 2 monitors the processor's temperature, power draw, and current load every single millisecond. Based on those readings, it automatically adjusts the clock speed of individual cores up or down in real time. For example, if you are running a single threaded task like opening an application, Precision Boost 2 will push that one core all the way up to 5.4 GHz to finish the job as fast as possible. But if all 96 cores are fully loaded, like during a render, each core runs at a lower stable frequency to manage heat and power. This feature is entirely automatic and requires no manual configuration from the user.
Building on Precision Boost 2, AMD offers additional overclocking features. Precision Boost Overdrive or PBO allows the CPU to exceed its rated power limits when the motherboard and cooling system can support it. This means the processor can sustain its highest boost clocks for a longer period of time, resulting in better performance in sustained workloads. The curve optimizer goes even deeper. It lets user adjust the voltage of each individual core separately. Since no two cores on a chip are identical due to manufacturing variation, some cores are naturally more efficient than others. By reducing voltage on weaker cores and allowing stronger cores to boost higher, user can get better overall performance with less heat. Additionally, AMD Expo, which stands for Extended Profiles for Overclocking, allows easy memory overclocking with a single toggle in the BIOS, enabling the RAM to run at its full rated speed.
One of the most important but least talked about processor features is its instruction set support. An instruction set is a set of commands the CPU can understand and execute directly in hardware. The 9995WX supports a wide range of instruction sets. The base is x86-64, which is the standard instruction set for all modern 64-bit softwares. SSE and its variants, from SSE all the way to SSE 4.2, are used for multimedia processing, image handling, and streaming data operations. AVX and AVX2 extend this work by working on 256 bits of data at a time, meaning the CPU can process twice as much data per instruction compared to standard operations. AVX 512 is the most powerful. It works on 512 bits at once and is heavily used in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and scientific simulations. FMA3 or Fused Multiply Add allows the CPU to perform a multiplication and addition in a single step, with speeds of mathematical operations used in 3D graphics and physics simulations. AES provides hardware-level encryption and decryption, and SHA accelerates cryptographic hashing. Both are important for secure computing.
The fifth feature is AMD V, which stands for AMD Virtualization. This is a hardware feature that allows the processor to run multiple virtual machines, essentially multiple separate operating systems on a single physical CPU. AMD V, also called SVM or Secure Virtual Machine Mode, is built directly onto into the processor hardware, which makes the virtualization much faster and more stable than if it were handled purely in software. The 9995WX also supports nested paging, also known as rapid virtualization indexing. This gives each virtual machine its own separate memory space managed by the hardware, preventing virtual machines from interfering with each other. AMD VI or IOMMU virtualization allows virtual machines to directly access hardware devices like storage controllers and network cards safely. This makes the 9995WX an excellent choice for server environments, development machines running multiple test environments, and cloud computing setups.
The sixth feature is AMD Memory Guard. This is a dedicated security feature built directly into the processor that encrypts all data stored in RAM in real time. To understand why this is important, consider how RAM normally works. When your computer is running, everything, your open files, passwords, encryption keys, and application data sits in RAM as readable data. On a standard processor, if someone physically removes the RAM sticks from the machine and places them into another computer, they can read everything that was stored there. This type of attack is known as a cold boot attack, and it is a well documented method used to steal sensitive data from machines that were believed to be secure. AMD Memory Card completely eliminates this threat. It uses the processor's built-in security hardware to encrypt every piece of data written to RAM using cryptographic keys that are generated inside the CPU and never leave it. This means that even if someone physically removes the RAM and attempts to read it on another machine, all they see is encrypted, unreadable data. The moment the processor is no longer present, the keys are gone and the data is permanently inaccessible. Importantly, this encryption and decryption happens entirely inside the CPU itself, with no involvement from the operating system or any software. This means there is no performance slowdown for applications running on the system. The protection is completely transparent. AMD Memory Guard is part of AMD's Pro Technology suite and is essential for business and institutions where sensitive data such as patient medical records, classified government information, or financial transaction data must be protected not just from software attacks but from physical hardware attacks as well.
The seventh feature involves two security and management technologies. First, the AMD Secure Processor. This is a small separate processor built inside the main CPU chip. It operates completely independently from the 96 main cores and handles sensitive operations like secure boot verification, cryptographic key storage, and trusted execution environments. Because it is physically isolated, even if the main processor is compromised by malware, the security processor remains protected. Second, AMD Dash, which stands for Desktop and Mobile Architecture for the system hardware, is a remote management feature. It allows IT administrators to remotely monitor the health of the workstations, update BIOS firmware, restart the system, and check hardware status over a network. Even when the operating system is not running, this is very important for large organizations managing hundreds of workstations. The processor also meets Windows Secured Core PC certification requirements, which is a Microsoft standard for the most secure class of Windows machines.
The eighth feature is hardware accelerated AES and SHA. AES, the Advanced Encryption Standard, is the most widely used encryption algorithm in the world. It protects your HTTPS web connections, VPNs, and encrypted storage drives. The 9995WX includes dedicated AES hardware circuits that can encrypt and decrypt data at full processor speed. Without this feature, software would have to calculate encryption manually, which is about 10 times slower. SHA or Secure Hash Algorithm is similarly accelerated in hardware. SHA is used for verifying data integrity, digital signatures, and password hashing. Having both AES and SHA handled directly by the processor means that encryption and security operations add virtually no overhead to the system, allowing applications to be both fast and secure at the same time.
The ninth feature is native PCIe 5.0 support. The PCIe or Peripheral Component Interconnect Express is the high-speed communication LAN between the CPU and devices like graphics cards, storage drives, and AI accelerators. PCIe 5.0 is the latest standard and provides 32 gigatransfers per second per lane, double the speed of PCIe 4.0. Importantly, the 99995WX provides 128 PCIe 5.0 lanes directly from the processor itself, not through a separate chipset. This matters because chipset-based lanes add latency. With direct CPU lanes, there's no bottleneck between processor and connected devices. This allows the system to connect multiple professional GPU for AI training, several NVMe Gen SSDs transferring data at over 14 gigabytes per second, and high-speed network cards, all simultaneously at full speed.
The 10th and final feature we will cover is ECC memory support. ECC stands for Error Correcting Code. To understand why this matters, we first need to understand how RAM errors happen. RAM stores data as electrical charges representing ones and zeros. Occasionally, a single bit of data can randomly flip from a 1 to a 0 due to cosmic rays passing through the atmosphere, electromagnetic interference from nearby components, or heat built up over long periods of time. These errors are rare, but in a machine processing billions of operations per second, even a rare error becomes a near certainty over time. On a normal consumer CPU, this error goes completely undetected. The processor reads the corrupted value, treats it as correct, and continues computing, potentially producing wrong results, crashing the system, or corrupting data silently without anyone knowing. The 99995WX solves this through its built-in ECC memory controller. ECC memory stores extra checksum bits alongside every block of data. Every time the processor reads from RAM, the memory controller recalculates the checksum and compares it to the stored one. If a single bit has flipped, the mismatch is detected immediately and the correct value is restored automatically, in real time with no action needed from the user and no noticeable impact on performance. This matters greatly for the kind of workloads this processor is designed for. A hospital running medical imaging analysis cannot afford a corrupted bit changing a patient's diagnosis. A financial institution running risk calculation cannot afford a flipped bit turning a profit into a loss. A research lab running a 72-hour simulation cannot afford an undetected error invalidating the entire result. ECC memory support is what separates a true workstation class processor from a consumer desktop chip, and it is one of the key features that makes the Ryzen Threadripper Pro 99995WX suitable for mission critical professional environments.
To summarize everything what we have covered today, the AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro 99995WX is not simply a fast processor. It is deeply feature-rich platform built specifically for professional and enterprise-grade workloads. We begin with simultaneous multithreading, which doubles the number of threads to 192, allowing the processor to handle far more parallel tasks than a standard CPU. We then covered Precision Boost 2, which intelligently adjusts the clock speed of each individual core every millisecond based on temperature and load, ensuring maximum performance at all times without manual input. We looked at Precision Boost Overdrive, the curve optimizer, and AMD Expo, which together give users powerful tools to push performance even further through overclocking and per core voltage tuning. We then discussed the processor's rich instruction set support, including AVX 512 for AI and scientific computing, AES and SHA for hardware accelerated encryption, and FMA3 for fast mathematical operations. On the virtual side, AMD V with nested paging and AMD VI allows this processor to run multiple isolated virtual machines efficiently and securely. AMD Memory Guard provides real-time full memory encryption to protect sensitive data even from physical hardware attacks. The AMD Secure processors handles trusted execution and secure boot independently from the main cores, while AMD Dash enables remote IT management across enterprise environments. Finally, native PCIe 5.0 with direct CPU lanes ensure zero bottleneck connectivity to GPUs and storage. And ECC memory support guarantees silent error correction in RAM for mission critical reliability. If every single one of these features exists for a reason. Together they define what a true professional workstation processor looks like. The Ryzen Threadripper Pro 9995WX is the result of AMD engineering every layer of the processor to meet the demands of most challenging real-world workloads.
We hope this gave you a clear understanding of the processor features of the AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro 9995WX. Thank you.